Welcome back, everybody. Phone lines open at the hardline. 1-877-Newsmax. 1-877-639-7629. Welcome back, former Congressman, former chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Pete Hoekstra. Pete, I think before we get to the phone calls, let's make something else very clear here. What's going on with this whole judge issue here as far as Judge Gonzalo Curiel. There are those on the side of Donald Trump and others who are calling him a member of a group called La Raza Lawyers of San Diego. This seems to be one of the biggest points that we're getting to here. And the La Raza group is one which has been talked about as a very violent, sometimes radical left-wing, pro-illegal immigration group. But if you read deeper, he is a member of La Raza Lawyers of California, which is the Latino Bar Association of California, which has absolutely no affiliation with the National Council of La Raza. Doesn't it mean that, Pete, whether you love Donald Trump, hate Donald Trump, I really don't care. Don't we at least have to just get down to the facts and make sure that the facts in this case get out there?
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that Mr. Trump is going to have to focus on. And as he gets increased scrutiny, it's Mr. Trump, the statements you make are going to have to be backed up by the facts that are out there. That's exactly right.
All right, let's go ahead and get back to the calls at 1-877-Newsmax. 1-877-Newsmax. Carl is in Dolores, Colorado, and he does believe that Donald Trump is right and that he cannot be impartial. Wait a minute, that might be wrong. Carl, explain yourself there.
Thanks for taking my call, Ed. Real quick here, let me set this up. I'm a third-generation Californian living in Colorado right now, and I moved out of California because of what's going on down south. I've been here for 19 years now. I went back to Fallbrook. I'm in North County, San Diego, and went back to Fallbrook, and when I saw the high school in Fallbrook with the marquee having Spanish on it rather than English, it offended me greatly, and I've watched it decay down there. Being that I've been there, I'm 67 years old now. As far as La Raza means the race. So whether he's of the race of California or the national group, that's
hold on 1 sec. I have to stop you. Believe me, in essence of making sure that we are factual in everything here, there are La Raza Lawyers of California, La Raza Lawyers other places. These are marketing groups that you can have for women lawyers, black lawyers, Mormon lawyers, Christian lawyers, any lawyer of any sort here. This does not, the point here, though, that I think we have to stay on, and I want you to comment on, is that this is not part of the National Council of La Raza. There is no connection that anyone has actually found at this point. Do you understand that?
I do understand that, but still the word in and of itself, and you're using that word is still the word, and I'm going by the word, so he is not the race.
Okay, thanks for your phone call. Pete, I want to get your comment on all that.
Well, I think, the bottom line is Donald Trump is losing right now by this whole discussion. He hit a chord. The American people, by and large, know that there is a problem on our southern border, that a border that allows, illegals to cross it, indiscriminately, with very little, very easily. It can be people coming for opportunity, it can be drug traffickers, and it can be terrorists. He hit the chord there with the American people. He hit the chord when he identified that Washington has done nothing in the last 20 years to fix it, and that he's going to fix this problem. That's what Donald Trump needs to be talking about. That's why he's connecting with the American people. He created a distraction that should not have been created and diverts from an effective message that he has had.
Okay, let's get to Pat from Taylor, Michigan, who believes that the judge in question here cannot be impartial to Donald Trump. Pat, tell us why.
Yes, actually, I'm calling from Gaylord, Michigan right now. I worked on Pete's gubernatorial campaign in Holland. So, hi, Pete. I have to agree
to disagree. Thank you very much.
Yes, Pete. I have to disagree on this point. First, I agree with the caller that just called. The term "the race" that is not a representing Christians or representing Muslims.
No, it represents the individuals themselves, the Hispanic groups who call themselves La Raza.
It is the word "the race." It is the word.
I understand that. You are correct. It is the race, but it is not connected with the National Council of La Raza.
It may not be officially. However, I personally would not join as a lawyer, would not join a group that was called the race.
Okay, that's fair.
Particularly if it was representing Caucasians, whatever.
Okay.
I think there's a real fine
Fair.
distinction, and I think that, and I am supporting Trump. I was not a candidate to do so. However, I am disgusted with the establishment. Where is the outrage from the establishment over the attack on people that were gathering to hear Trump exercising their First Amendment, their Fourth Amendment rights? Where's the establishment on that?
Pat, I have to be fair with you, and I
Furthermore, one more
appreciate your call
comment,
very
Ed.
much. I have to be fair. There is a lot of media coverage on what you're talking about, because I have read a lot of social media this week that has said, where's the coverage? All the major
I'm
networks
talking
have
about-
carried it. We have talked about it as well. What happened in Southern
I said
California?
the establishment political system. I haven't heard it from them.
What do you mean by the establishment political system?
I'm talking about D.C. I'm talking about Paul Ryan. I'm talking about McConnell. I'm talking about many sitting senators and Congress people.
Okay. Pat, I appreciate your call. I thank you very much. We have to move on, though, because of time. 1-877 Newsmax. Pete, the words Paul Ryan were brought up in there, Mitch McConnell were brought up in there, and I think that leads us down another road here. We'll get to the other phone calls here in a moment. But, Pete, your comment on this as well. People who are now worried about down ticket. You have a lot of folks now who are very shaky about what Donald Trump is saying, how it's going to affect their political careers, how it's going to affect the upcoming elections. And I'm hearing from a lot of people who are going, and this is quite seriously, Pete, I've heard from a lot of people this weekend who have said, why don't people stop worrying about the party and start worrying about what the country needs? There are people, Republicans, who even believe in some cases that they need to leave the party aside and go with what is right. That's a tough decision when you're trying to hold your beliefs and your conservative beliefs as well.
I've run into the same thing, but I'll tell you, the bottom line is we are getting to a November election where most likely our choices are going to be Mr. Trump or Hillary Clinton. And when you take a look at the record of Hillary Clinton, and I've taken a very hard look at what she has done, especially as Secretary of State. It is disastrous. The growth of ISIS, 4 failed states in Northern Africa and the Middle East. It is a disastrous foreign policy, and I'm supporting Donald Trump. And I don't agree with everything that Donald Trump does, but I can't wait till, the statement that Donald Trump has made is now, has generated 3-4 days of coverage. When are we going to see, and I agree with Pat, when are we going to see that same kind of coverage on what's going on in Libya today? What is going on in Syria? How this administration has coddled up to the Muslim Brotherhood, and the Muslim Brotherhood is all about establishing a caliphate and imposing Sharia and destroying the West. That is Hillary Clinton's record. I can't wait till we start talking about Hillary Clinton's record and what she will bring to the White House, and that's what Donald Trump should be focusing on.
To be fair,
not the judge that's trying a case. He needs to be focused on what he's going to do for America and how that is a stark contrast to what Hillary Clinton has already delivered.
You are correct, Pete. To be fair, we on this show have talked about Syria. We in the show have talked about that.
Yes.
We have done it here. But you are correct. It is time for Donald Trump to start attacking these things and stop attacking Americans. 1-877 Newsmax. Virginia from Langhorne, Pennsylvania. Virginia, you don't know why the media is making such a big deal about the judge. Tell us why.
No, because he's hearing Trump's case. And Donald Trump is concerned because he's involved with La Raza. Didn't he donate to La Raza?
He did not donate. Again, I have to make the point. He has never been part of the National Council of La Raza.
Didn't he donate
He has
to La
never
Raza?
been. There is no evidence that we can find that he has donated to the National Council of La
All I can
Raza.
say is I think Donald Trump will be one of the best presidents this country ever had.
And you
I
certainly-
think the media
And you certainly
is
share
so
that a lot of
biased
people
towards
have.
Hillary, who is prejudiced herself. If you go back with Planned Parenthood, she
Okay.
talked.
Got you. We appreciate your comments very much. Thanks so much for joining us. Please make sure you join us again. Pete, I've only got a few seconds here, but I want to get to this one last thing in here. Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan insist that Donald Trump, when he's president, if he's president, can be controlled, that he will come to heel by the Republican establishment. I got about 40 seconds left. What evidence do we have to prove that?
Well, all the evidence shows that Donald Trump is not going to be controlled. Donald Trump will be his own man. The reason people are voting for him is they believe that he cannot be controlled. And everything that we've seen for the last 6-8 months has been the Washington establishment trying to control Donald Trump, trying to rein him in, and they have not been effective. They really ought to take a look at why Donald Trump is generating the kind of support that he is getting, and they will see that America is frustrated with Washington. They're frustrated because we're not dealing with the border. They're not dealing with the deficit. They're not dealing with the threat from radical Islam, and the list goes on and on. That's why the American people are turning to someone like Donald Trump, because they have some hope that he will actually be able to get some of these things done that they know are a cancer that is destroying the United States from within.
And that is the point. You made it earlier. I think you made an excellent point. Donald Trump started going after Hillary Clinton and what she has done to this country. Make that point every day. Pete Hoekstra, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining us. More of your phone calls on the